we're back with Yeah. Okay, so here we are. We're back. This is Know Your Friends podcast, YouTube, whatever it is. And today I have one of my best friends, Liam Hennessy. So the first question is, who are you? If someone met you in a Bunnings and said, "Hey, Liam,"
who am I?
Well, they wouldn't say, "Hey, Liam."
Yeah, well, they wouldn't say that
unless you're wearing a name tag.
Well, based on what the series is that you're trying to create is, if someone came up to me and said, "Hey, mate, who are you?" I'll say, "Mate, I'm Kurt's mate."
Yeah.
And why else would I be here?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I'm Kurt's mate. My name's Liam, and where do you want to start?
Well, let's start. I guess, I'm not a psychiatrist or any of that stuff.
But you're here to help me with my
start,
problems.
Exactly. So at the start, I know you very well. People listening might not. So where are you today, and then we can maybe work backwards. We'll try that. So you run a business, you work full-time, you're married, you have a cool dog. I don't know. There's a lot to talk about.
Well, that's basically it. You just run a business, and that is Shredlife Clothing Co. We'll get into this, I'm sure. You helped me start it back in the day. And yes, also I work in construction, which is my other full-time job. I pretty much work 2 full-time jobs now, one during the day, one during the night. And yeah, married to the love of my life, to Neil, which Kurt was my best man for my wedding. And I have a dog who was basically my son, and also my other best mate.
Until you get a son.
Until I get a son, which is on the cards.
Yeah.
Hopefully, who knows?
Whenever.
That'll be the next thing that happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, what else? I don't know. 30, married. Actually, I'm not 30 yet.
Well, you're not. Well, soon.
I'm soon. I think I've just considered that this year for my 30th, it'll be no different to how I am right now, and that is basically inside, not going out.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is a big thing that has affected the whole world right now. Like, I've never seen anywhere as empty. I've never seen Bunnings as busy.
No, I'll tell you what, I have actually seen something similar to this before.
What was it?
And that was it. No, for our honeymoon, the first stop that we went to was Dubai.
Yeah.
And when we went to Dubai, it was Ramadan.
Yeah.
And what happened throughout the day is because they don't go out, they don't eat and drink during the day, they don't go out in public. Well, they do, I think, for necessities, similar situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, the streets were just so dead. And in Dubai, like, it is a huge city. It's like so advanced.
Yeah, that would be so crazy.
And when we went there, there was 5 days left of it. And I think we were there we were there 4 days, but on the last day, that's when it ended. And for those first 4 days that we were there, we were around the streets, absolutely no one was there. And we were in this massive advanced city, just empty. We had the whole place ourselves. But the thing is, all the shops were open still, which is kind of scary.
Yeah, so you'd go in and you'd be the only person in there.
You'd be the only person in there, except for other Westerners.
Yeah.
The other thing was, with all the hospitality side of things, they have these like curtains over all the shops, like all the restaurants. So
as in to like appear closed?
Because they don't because the locals there, or the Muslim side, they don't eat and drink during the day. So it's kind of, they see it as sort of offensive, or they don't want to see it.
Yeah.
So for when Westerners go in, they don't want to be like eating in front of people because it's rude.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have like these curtains over the buildings for like non-Muslims to go in and eat. And basically you're just behind curtains inside.
So that is the story that I'm not too aware of the culture, but they eat as soon as it gets dark. So, and what time of year is that then? Like, what time does it get dark? 5 or 7?
I think it was pretty late for us then. I think it was around 7. Like the sun, I remember the sun came up late then. We went in June.
Yeah.
And the sun was coming up about, I think it was like around 7 to 7.
Yeah.
And I remember when we were flying into Dubai, the captain came over the speaker and told like all the locals that Ramadan was still happening, and for the locals who are doing the tradition to eat now.
Yeah, okay.
Before you land, because the sun hadn't come up yet.
Yeah, right.
But they still had all the windows closed and whatnot. So yeah, they definitely timed it to like the last second that it was acceptable for them to eat. And then, yeah, clearly as soon as we landed, no one ate throughout the whole day.
Yeah.
And I don't even think you're allowed to drink water.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
I think, do you know how in Australia they've actually covered up all the visible cigarettes in the stores?
Yeah.
They should have the same deal. You're not allowed to smoke any ciggies until it gets dark, just because it's offensive to non-smokers.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a great idea. Imagine that.
That'd be crazy. But yeah, the thing, when the sun goes down there, it was just like party. I imagine what it was like every night will be when our pandemic is over and you're allowed to go out, which will be kind of scary. You don't really want to happen, but it was just an influx of people. I guess because it was safe, there was no diseases or anything. But as soon as the sun went down, everyone was out. It was like a party.
So it is a celebration time for them as well. So it's like, don't eat, don't do anything. And then as soon as that sun goes down, that's it. It's a lot of celebration.
They're munging on everything.
That would have been awesome. Like to experience that. And it would just be so different, all in a 24-hour period.
It was crazy. But also, like, being in Western we were so lucky. We saw it as a very lucky situation for Tanil and I to be in, because everywhere we went, there was no lineup. It was awesome. Like, we went to Ferrari World. We were on the front of every roller coaster, just everything. Like, it was just, so for that, we're just like, this is so awesome. Yeah,
it would be like you're the last people on earth. You know, there's all the movies about it. And I imagine now, I was listening to a podcast this morning, and it was a couple of photographers in Sydney, and they were saying that one of them would go out and just push bike around to all these places within Sydney that are usually so packed.
Yeah.
And he's just doing these little videos where it's just like him, you know, in the middle of these streets where there's usually thousands of people. And he said it's just it's so weird.
So that's what I mean. Like, going back to what you're saying, like, it is a weird time to be in. I feel like I've kind of already lived it.
Experienced
with going out in public and there's not many people around. I feel like people are definitely trying to cheat the situation in any way possible that they can, because they're not used to it here. But for me, I'm just like, it's all right, we're going to get through it.
Yeah.
It's all good.
But you work nights normally anyway, so
I'm pretty nocturnal.
You don't really see people anyway.
No.
Yeah.
I live in a pretty digital world as it is.
Yeah.
Like, I ring you during the day.
Yeah, and that's it.
And that's it.
And then go to work at night.
Go to work at night. And then, I'm never dealing with traffic. And then as soon as I wake up, which is usually around probably between 10 and 11.
Oh, same. Yeah. I don't even do night work.
But yeah, that'll be as soon as I wake up, then it's just straight into Shredlife.
Yeah.
Do that, pack my orders that I've had, and then get them out. And then basically as soon as the post office shuts, which is around, 5 in the afternoon, I'm done for the day. And then
start
I go to my other job.
Yeah.
And then come home, repeat the process.
So let's talk about Shredlife. It seems like since I, stopped being involved with the business, that's when it started to boom. You know what I mean? It was just like, and every time I call you, it's just at the moment, well, it has been for a while. It's like, you just flat out. Like, there's orders every day. There's a bigger following now. I understand that a lot of businesses grow, but I feel like within such a short period of time, so the last 2 years where I haven't been involved, it's just boomed. I don't know. Just tell me a little bit about Shredlife, I guess, then.
Well, how Shredlife started, for those that are listening, is Kurt and I, we used to play in bands together. And the thing, like, I guess we'll start from there, where it kind of started. And you and I, we wanted to be in a band together because when we were on tour, we used to go skating and things like that. We just have so much in common that it sucked that we couldn't go on the same tours together if we weren't. And so I reckon it was you that came up with the idea that we should start a clothing brand.
Yeah, and then you came up with the name.
No, you did. I reckon you did.
I don't think I came up with the name.
Yeah, because I remember you sent me this thing.
I thought you sent it to me.
No, it was...
Who came up with the name?
You just sent me through heaps of things, and I reckon I went, that was sick. And I remember it was a photo of a skater, and it said Shredlife, but it was like something that you took off Tumblr.
Oh, yeah.
Because you were just going through, that was when Tumblr was like a big thing.
Yeah.
And you were just, sending me all these photos, like, oh, that's sick, let's post it. And I remember we just got like some mocks made up.
Yeah.
And I think people were just hyped because back then there wasn't many local brands.
Yeah.
Well, there was, but they didn't really know how to adapt to the social media side of things. And you and I, fortunately, knowing how to do Facebook and that sort of thing, it helped us have that backing to launch something.
Yeah.
Because we already had a following elsewhere. The thing that people struggle with when they're starting a new brand now is that they don't understand the importance of interaction, networking, things like that. They think that, oh, I want to start a brand, like I just want to order 100 shirts with this design. I'm going to sell 100 shirts.
Yeah.
No way. It's that hard work that you don't get paid beforehand that helps it.
I remember, so this is my recollection of how it started, is that it was maybe a few months before Christmas, whatever year it was, 2000 and whatever. And we'd been talking about starting the clothing label, and then we'd come up with a name. Whoever came up with it, I can't remember, but it was 2 words originally. It was Shredlife was 2 words. And then I played around with my limited Photoshop skills and tried to, have some kind of artwork for the brand. And it ended up becoming 1 word, and then nothing really happened. And then for that Christmas, I wanted to surprise you, and I wanted to actually get some shirts made up.
Yeah.
So then I think I was way too excited to even wait and tell you that it was going to happen. I think I ended up after a week being like, oh yeah, I want to get some, we're going to get some shirts. And then you were hyped on it.
I think I went and picked them up.
Yeah, probably. Because I was like, I was like so excited that it was meant to be a Christmas gift. But I was just, So that kind of happened. And I remember probably there was a couple of brands around at the time. I remember one of them called Drop the Anchor Clothing.
Yeah, they're still around.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I probably had a look, and then I just remember them being within our kind of scene, which was based around
bold sort of look.
Yeah, and there was a lot of there's Fat Lip apparel as well, I think.
Oh yeah,
and so there was a couple that were kind of within the similar scene, as in must have been somehow tied with the music scene, because a lot of people would tattoos and bought that kind of stuff. But all it was just printing the name. That's how I remember. It was just whatever happened, and then we started. I think the first run was 30 shirts, and it felt like I didn't think we were going to sell 30 shirts. No. It was like me and you would buy one, and then that was it. And
that was the idea at the start, was to just make something that you and I could wear, that we could wear on stage.
Yeah. And
it'd just be cool. It's just because we like that same look of bold sort of designs.
Just black.
And so, it was hard to find these all the time.
Yeah.
Why don't we just make our own?
Yeah.
Because we know how to make band merch and whatnot.
Exactly.
So it should be just as
simple.
You
definitely had that experience of creating the merch and stuff like that. Yeah. Whereas I just was able to click a few buttons and get stuff, get the ball rolling.
Yeah, but you were what made it cool. I just talked.
Nah. So actually, it's funny that you said that a lot of brands maybe don't understand what it is, how you actually engage with the audience and all that. Because I remember we both had access to everything, emails, accounts, Instagram and stuff like that. And I remember you replying to people and you would just talk to them like, oh yeah, mate, g'day mate, all this stuff. And me, I thought that was so unprofessional, not replying. And I was just like, I don't understand what he's doing. I was
building a community.
I know, but I felt like it cheapened the brand and all this stuff. But then it just grew and grew. And the more that you were interacting with people, the more that I guess they saw a face to the brand. And then it was that interaction that, built a following or, a business essentially. Whereas me, I was just trying to be too professional and, Nike doesn't comment back, hey mate, how are you? Yeah, so.
Well, see, when our band was somewhat blowing up, we learnt the importance of everyone having their own job in the band. Someone was a writer, someone was in charge of gear and stuff like that. But then also one of the most important things was social media. And we never understood that at first, of what social media can do to your band if you do it correctly. And one of the things that we were taught was interaction.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay. So at first it felt weird to me too.
Yeah.
But I realized the more you pay attention to the people that are supporting you, the more they'll keep supporting you indefinitely.
Yeah.
And the more that they also feel a part of the brand. The thing is that I don't know if it's my personality or of who I am, but I genuinely get really stoked when someone takes the time to pay attention to what I'm doing creatively.
Yeah.
So I am always really thankful if someone just buys a shirt. Like, I'm so stoked about that.
For sure. Because we're no one.
No,
And
exactly.
that's why I'm like, if someone has taken the time to even comment,
Yeah.
you do feel that, you
And
know,
those sort of little pushes here and there, that's what gets you motivated to keep doing more and more.
Yeah.
And at first, like what you said, when we didn't think we'd sell 30 shirts, without those 30 people back in the day, I wouldn't be here now continuing on, because those original 30 people got me so hyped.
Yeah.
And I still remember to this day our first sale, and it was by Jason. I can't remember his last name. It starts with a B.
Yeah.
But I won't forget that, because that was the biggest moment of impact for Shredlife, like unintentionally, but he kicked it off for us.
Exactly, and that's the thing. I know back when I was a part of it, there was a guy named James May, I think, and he would buy every time we dropped something, you know, and people like him are also, you know, loyal customers that keep the brand going as well. But within that first 30 shirts, I don't even think it was family that really bought it either. So that was even more impressive. That was just people that obviously knew us, you know, and names that I didn't know, and you might not have known either. And that's what's surprising when you're starting a clothing label.
So I don't know if it was lack of timing for us as well, but like I said, there was not many brands around then doing what we were doing.
No.
I think we just had the upper hand of knowing how to engage with people. We knew how to work social media.
Yep.
And that's what really helps. And that's why you see a lot of big name people now on social media start a side project like a brand or something that they can sell, because not only is their income coming from giving things shout outs, it's like, I need a regular income, and clothes is something that I can do.
Yeah.
What people I think struggle with nowadays is finding a purpose of why they're doing it. See, what with Shredlife is, when it started back then, we were just doing cool things. It was a hobby.
Yeah.
I noticed after a bit when you parted ways was it plateaued out for a bit.
Yeah.
That's when I actually did struggle. I was like, shit, what am I doing now? Like, do I keep continuing with this, or is that it? Because I need that helping hand. Yeah. Then I started to realize the importance of what a purpose is for a brand. Same thing as what the purpose is for a band.
Yeah.
So when
you... for anything. Brand,
yeah, exactly.
Business, like...
The only thing why I resort back to a band is because that's what I knew.
Yeah.
And so whenever we did Take Us to Vegas, the band I was in, we had purposes for our albums, like our messages and things like that. So
yeah, they were very prominent.
Exactly. And I feel like that helps. If you don't have a purpose for what you're doing, it might struggle.
Yep.
It might not, but for me it was. And once I started bringing in the purpose of Shredlife and how it was to engage, do those things that you love doing in life because it'll make you happy, like for mental reasons and things like that, which I'll get into in the future, but today I'll just skim over it.
Yeah.
I feel like having a purpose for your brand and your vision helps tremendously.
Yeah.
Because people will understand, they'll start, like I once asked, like, what does Shredlife mean to you? For me, what it is doing those things you love doing, like whether it be skating, playing golf, going to the footy, hanging with your mates.
Yeah.
Not those things, like we all have jobs that we don't, like a lot of us, I think it's like 90% of Australia or the world.
It'd have to be higher, right?
Yeah, they have a job that they don't enjoy. But those things that you do enjoy doing is, to me, you shredding life.
Yeah.
So like when I ask the question to people, like, what is shred life to you? Like, how do you see it? And then they'd send me through these things like, I shred life because I love mountain biking. Like, that's how I see it. I love gaming or driving cars, or like things like, I shred life because I love being a parent. Yeah. I was like, that blew my mind when people said that. I was just like, holy shit, shred life is so much bigger than what I expected.
Exactly, and it's so much more than, like, the purpose of it is so much more than probably what was initially intended.
Exactly. So once I understood that, like, we started it around skating and music.
Yeah.
That was like shredding at skating, or shredding at surfing, or playing music, playing guitar. That was just how we visioned it. But then I didn't realize that everyone visioned it their own way.
Yeah, that's awesome that the brand has essentially become, you know, a purpose for you as well.
It does. Well, it's a thing that when I wake up, besides looking at my wife, looking at my dog, it's the first thing I get up.
Do you give them both a kiss in the morning?
I give my wife a kiss. Winston gives me a kiss.
All right, there you go.
And then then I'll get up, make bed, and then get into it. Like, I'll check what I have to do, because that's scheduled into my day, to check what shred life needs to be done that has come in overnight. And then, so it's the first thing I do. And then when I get home, I kind of prepare for it before I go to bed, for what is happening as soon as I wake up.
So do you have a routine? Because your life to me seems very structured, which it probably allows you to do so many things, or at least max out the time in the day.
Yeah.
So you just said you make your bed. Do you actually make your bed when you get up?
So
was that something that you learned when you were younger, or?
No, it's something that I learned over time and only recently, like this year, I've started doing it, was especially with the time that we're in now, is that you have to schedule your day if nothing is planned. Because once you wake up and make your bed, that is already a task that you've done for the day. The other thing is that once your bed is made, you're less likely to jump back into it.
Oh, yeah.
So,
true.
And then watch Netflix and shit like that. So
yeah.
I feel like as simple, as dumb as it seems, making your bed first thing in the morning is what will kickstart your day.
Yeah.
The other thing that I have like scheduled into my day to keep me kind of active and healthy is I always do 30 minutes of exercise. So it's scheduled into my day. I don't do it first thing in the morning.
Yeah, okay.
Because if I made it, this is just me personally, if I do it first thing in the morning and I miss a day, I feel like that's going to start throwing me off for the rest of the day.
Yeah, okay.
So I think any time of the day, as long as there's 30 minutes of exercise throughout the day, that's fine.
I think 30 minutes is a good goal.
Yeah.
I do 30 minutes a month, I think. So that's something that I need to work on personally.
Yeah.
And I think exercise for anyone, no matter your fitness level, it is a good thing because, all the endorphins and all that rubbish that like get your mind into a better mood.
Yeah.
And plus, even the most fit people in the world have, body conscious issues. You know, like you could be as fit as you've ever been and still have some kind of negative thought on your appearance.
Oh, definitely.
So, but just to exercise regularly is, it is key.
It is, and it also
30
helps
minutes a day.
Yeah, and
that'd be unreal.
Like, because I have struggled sleeping with the amount of things that I try to squeeze into my day. It's like for a large period of time with the working night shift and doing the Shredlife and all that, I was struggling to sleep because I was struggling to switch off.
Yeah, your brain wouldn't
stop.
Yeah.
So once I started exercising at least for 30 minutes a day, it helped me get to the end of the day to kind of switch off. But then once I learned more about the importance of what sleep is, I was like, okay, I need to schedule sleep into my day now.
Yeah, and that's only a recent thing as well.
It is, and it's changed my mind so much.
Because I've been telling you for years. I'm like, mate, you need to sleep.
I know, because it was just getting out of hand. But that was my own fault, and I'm glad that I definitely took, I don't know, how would I say, self-discipline to put sleep in my day. Because I'd see you, I'd see my parents and whatnot, and they'd be like, you look like shit. You look way too tired. I'm like, I know, it's because I'm trying to squeeze too much in.
Yeah.
But I think once I knew that scheduling was a thing that I do, once I scheduled sleep into my day, like things changed around.
Doesn't that sound funny?
I know.
Schedule. Oh, I need to just schedule some more sleep.
Well, it's maximizing a 24-hour day.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think. Yes, sleep is important. My sleep patterns have changed throughout my life. I remember when I first started playing music, I would go to a gig or play a show and then literally spend like the whole next day sleeping.
Yeah.
It was just the worst sleep pattern. And I think, my partner at the time, she probably didn't do much either. So you just sleep in together the whole day and waste the day and then only have the night. But that was before... I guess I chose to be a bit more creative other than just music and...
Well, yeah.
But I think, at the moment, my sleep pattern's probably a lot better. And
what is your sleep pattern?
It was, until I moved here, I was getting too much sleep probably. Like
that can also be a thing.
Yeah, I was like 10 and a half hours a day, like average. Yeah. Like that's a lot of sleep. But that's why I look so young. I'm like 50 years old now. But I think at the moment it's pretty good. The last couple of weeks I've been trying to get up a lot earlier, about 6:30 or 7. Whereas before that, maybe it was like between 8 and 9 I'd get up.
Yeah.
If I don't have a job on for the day, I do try and just catch up on that sleep. A lot of the times I'm editing late at night, from 12 until 2 is when I'd finish. So when I catch up, it's not that much sleep anyway.
Well, here's a fun fact. We are how would I say? Our brain is wired back from our ancestors, our caveman days.
Yeah.
That at, siesta, what a siesta is?
I thought siesta meant party, but apparently it means just go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
Yeah, I didn't know.
So
yeah.
After lunch, it's like our brain is triggered every day from like between 1 and 3 p.m. for most people, that's when we get tired. And have you ever been at work and it's usually between
yeah,
so it's after lunch.
When I used to work a 9 to 5.
Yeah. And so our brain is triggered to have a short sleep then throughout the day.
Oh, I wish.
And I've started doing that. And like you only have like a half an hour sleep, 20-minute sleep of an afternoon. This is me personally. This is not what everyone's like.
Yeah.
But I feel like just having that afternoon nap, and that is also scheduled into my day.
Yeah.
Helps me like so much to get through the night, through my work at night time, and just to still be creative and motivated throughout everything. Because I do suffer from like sleep deprivation quite a bit.
Yeah.
If I don't have my sleep. So even though it's only like, 7.5 hours, 8 hours every 24 hours, if I start missing out on half an hour here and there, it definitely affects my next 24 hours that I'm going to have. So yeah, sleep is important.
Well, when I was an apprentice, I actually used to have a van that had a bed in the back. So on like not little lunch, but big lunch, I'd go have a sleep in my van. And then sometimes I wouldn't wake up for like over an hour, and it was only meant to be a 30-minute break.
But that just shows how tired you were.
Yeah, or just how lazy I was. I don't know. Okay, so this is a new thing, me trying to make coffee.
Yeah.
How's it taste?
Oh, it tastes like what we were having in America, that coffee that we were having when you asked. Like,
I remember I hyped it down a lot, and then the coffee over there, because I said it's so bad.
Which is good that you did that.
Yeah,
because I wasn't expecting it.
You had your first mouthful, and you're like, that's not too bad. And I was like, oh, I really thought it was bad.
What's wrong? So you've been struggling to make this coffee? Something to do with the beans?
Yeah, there's a lot of things I need to study on the coffee. It's the beans that I'm using.
What kind?
I don't know, just whatever from Coles or Woolies. Like, obviously not good enough.
Did you say they were ground beans?
Yeah, and they're already ground.
Yeah, well, you don't want you get the ones off the shelf. You don't get them off the ground.
Oh no. Or they were on the shelf. So there's my first problem. So yeah, I don't know. And I don't have milk. I don't, I drink a lot of soy milk normally. If I go and buy a coffee, it'll be like, the rich coffee, have soy milk. But just normally, just black. I got used to it. And no sugar. No, that's it.
It's fuel. Like a car doesn't, some cars complain with what, petrol or diesel they get put in, but, you're just, I don't know, what would you call it? Is that
I don't know.
ethanol or is that E10? It's
E10.
Oh, that's cheap shit.
I know.
You need to get some 98.
But petrol's like 88 cents at the moment or something.
Who'd have thought that we'd live back through that?
I know.
I remember seeing it like that cheap when I was younger.
Yeah, you're younger than me, but I remember because we have radio stations here, and it was like 97.3, 96.5. And I was like, oh, it's funny because like every now and then it'd be the same.
As a radio
and then
station.
when it got to like B105, and I was like, holy, it's over $1, and then and then now it's like, wow.
I remember the first time I saw fuel over $1 a litre. Do you remember?
No, I don't remember when you saw it.
No, no, but I was 10. So
10?
It was the year 2000. I remember seeing it.
I must have been 22 already.
Yeah, so you were out drinking then.
Yeah.
So it was when we were moving from Sydney up to Queensland. Yeah. And I remember seeing it on the highway, like after we crossed the border, that for some reason it was cheaper in Sydney at the time. But yeah, I remember seeing it over $1 and just losing my mind at 10 years old. Like, can you afford fuel, Dad? Like,
yeah, fully.
It's crazy. So,
you have to sell some cigarettes to
Nah, he was never a smoker.
He wasn't?
Nah.
So, well, there you go. There's another story. So did you grow up in Sydney? Like,
well, yeah, a lot of people don't know that I was a Shire rat when I was born. I was born in...
What does that mean?
So the Sutherland Shire. I was born at Carringbar Hospital.
Yeah.
So for those that know, it's where like Cronulla is.
Yeah. What's the NRL team that's closest to there?
Cronulla Sharks.
Sharks. Yeah.
Not a Sharks supporter.
Is Kamali your dad?
No. Okay. He used to play for the Storm before then.
What, Kamali?
Yeah.
What, he started at Storm, then went to
Oh,
Sharks?
he played somewhere else before the Storm. I can't remember where, but I remember
Sharks?
after that. No, after the Storm, he went to the Sharks.
Oh.
So
well, when he was washed up.
Yeah. He's wanted to run out his career. He should have stayed at the Storm.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I was about 10, yeah, I remember that. I remember it was when the Olympics were on, the 2000 Olympics, because we drove past Homebush Stadium when we were leaving to go up north, and I remember seeing the cauldron. What was it called?
Like lit.
Lit. So that was pretty lit. And
what were you doing? You should have turned around and just, hey, Dad, let's go watch,
But yeah, because I remember, that was cool. Like, I was like, that in itself is like a once in a lifetime experience, really, seeing that. So yeah, year 2000, I moved up to Noosa and did the rest of primary school there and all my high school in Noosa, and then moved to Brisbane when I was 18 and lived in Brisbane ever since.
So why aren't you a surfer?
Okay, Dad tried so hard to get me into surfing.
What happened?
So he worked at a surf shop.
It's just like skateboarding, except better.
Yeah. Well, you'd think so. Okay, I would have to blame my brother on this because he was a skater.
Yeah.
Back when we lived in Sydney, in Engadine. Engadine is where we lived.
Yeah.
And I remember just like, I don't know what it was like for you, but for me, it was like whatever your older sibling was doing.
I was the oldest.
So probably your brothers might have been copying you when you were younger.
Yeah.
So that's what I was doing. I was copying. Well, I've got two older brothers, but my middle brother Tyler, he's who I somewhat looked up to, like when I was trying to figure out who I was as a kid. I guess. So whatever he did, I assume was cool.
Yeah.
So I got into skating early, and I remember Dad taking us to the beach, but we'd only do bodyboarding. Yeah. I stood up on a longboard a few times, but I'd never gotten a shortboard. Yeah. But we lived probably about 20 minutes away from the water, so it wasn't as convenient. It was convenient to grab a skateboard.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I remember growing up skating, and then when we moved to Noosa, there was like heaps of good skate parks around the Sunshine Coast. Yeah. So throughout like primary school, I'd just hang with like the skater kids and the football kids at that time. Yeah. And then into high school, that was when I took skating a lot more serious. Yeah. And I was getting really good at one spot, got like a few local sponsors. And then...
So you had Sponsor Me tapes?
Yeah. The old cassettes, which I've lost. I wish I still had them.
Who filmed them?
Just my mate who was... he went to school with us. He came from Germany. He couldn't really speak English really well, but he had a video camera.
So
and back
he's
then
like
it was
your best mate then. Yeah, it's like,
I don't know why. I think it was just because... Was Germany like a rich country?
I don't know.
But
what was his name?
His name was Michael, but it was Michael, or however they say it. And when they moved over, his family had like so much gear.
Yeah, right.
So he was really into his photography and skating as well. So we became friends with him.
At such a young age as well.
Yeah. So he used to film us at the skate park and put our videos together. Yeah. And so we made a Sponsor Me tape, and I took it to a few places, but the Eternity Surf in Noosa, they sort of sponsored us. Yeah. They gave us like free shirts and free skate videos and stuff like that. Yeah. And then this other one called Wide Awake Board Sports. Yeah. That was next to the skate park at Tewantin. And
that was like the main.
It was a wakeboarding store, but they sold skate decks and skateboards, and so because it was board sports, they just did everything. Yeah. And they hooked us up heaps.
That's cool.
And they were giving us skateboards and like all this other stuff. And after a while, I remember I didn't realize what a tab was. And
a tab? Yeah. No way.
So he was just giving us heaps of stuff, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll just put it on your tab." And then I think we ended up like racking up over $500 worth of like skateboards and like skate wheels and all this stuff. Yeah. And then he ended up ringing my parents.
Oh no.
And he's just like, Liam owes us like over $500 in like all this stuff.
Your dad would have kicked your ass.
Like I remember, I think
no.
At that time I had a job at Macca's. So
it was like 4 months pay.
Yeah, so I got Dad to pay it off, and then I paid Dad back. But when it was like we definitely got quite a few free things from there. Yeah. But I didn't understand what a tab was as well.
That's so good.
Because looking back, I'm like, it was only $500, and I remember getting like
so much
stuff from there.
So it's not too bad.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. And then he went bankrupt, so that was definitely because of me. Yeah. And then What else?
At that time, were scooters in yet? Like
No,
back in?
they weren't in like they are now.
I swear, when I have kids, they are never owning a scooter. There's just no way.
Nah.
Even if their mates have them or whatever, nah.
Like you're thinking
it's just not going to happen.
Well, I don't know. It's something that if they want to do it, they can do it. But it's just like,
You can do whatever you want. I
can't teach them anything though. It's like I'll teach you stuff on a skateboard, but yeah, we'll see. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Hopefully, I don't cross it.
Yeah, for sure.
Nothing against scooter riders, but it's just something that I don't want to do.
Yeah, I don't want to do it. There's some great scooter riders, but for me, I'm just like, nah, I just can't do it.
Unless you're that Willie kid in Nitro Circus.
Yeah.
Like you can beat him. You can beat him 6 times over if you want.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No. yeah. You got to buy your own scooter. Maybe that's it. Yeah.
But don't get a tab.
Yeah. Don't get a tab. That's the recommendation. So you played rugby league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
what
started
position
winger. Always been a winger.
Always winger.
Yeah. A wingman.
You could catch the ball.
Could catch the ball, score tries in the corner every time. Or you get the
right
ball, run around and score under the post. Right or left?
Yeah.
I was always on the left.
Yeah.
So there's
you couldn't pass, could you? That's
nah.
why you're on the wing. That's it.
Because I'm on the left. No, because I'm on the left wing. No one can pass it right because that's like your left-handed throw back in.
Yeah.
So you got to do the toss.
Yeah.
When did I start that? I remember how that started. This is to do with the Melbourne Storm story.
How?
So when I was 8, and these are like the things, if you're ever into a football team, it usually starts at a young age.
Yeah.
How it happened. And people say, like, why don't you go for the Cronulla Sharks? This is why. So the first night of ever watching football on TV back in Friday night footy, I was sitting down with Dad, and that year was coincidentally Melbourne Storm's first year of the competition. So
Did they breach the salary cap that year?
No, that wasn't for a few years later. And that's not even a story we need to get into. Nah, it's all good. And so I remember Dad sitting me down. So come here, son.
Yeah.
And back then, I remember being 8 years old. And did your dad ever give you a beer when you were young?
No. I don't reckon. My dad's mate, I think, did. Yeah.
Well,
I was like, that tastes
this is like one of the moments of impact as well, where he'd like let me have a sip of his Han Premium Light.
Yeah.
And being 8, you think you're just having beers with the boys.
Yeah.
No. I never finished it.
It was disgusting.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, for sure.
So I remember watching it and I didn't know what team. I was just engaged in what was happening on TV.
Yeah.
So it was Melbourne Storm.
Had you started footy already?
No. This is what got me into it. So I was really hyped on it. Just, I never understood what it was. I knew it was a sport, but never watched it before. It was Melbourne Storm versus, I think it was either the St. George Dragons or Cronulla Sharks.
Yeah.
But I was watching it and I didn't even know Melbourne was a thing back then. I remember like, where's Melbourne?
Yeah.
But I liked the colour of their jersey with the purple and the yellow and the lightning. So I just thought that was cool. And I said, whichever team wins will probably be the team I go for. And then they won that night, Melbourne Storm. And then they came back the next week and won again. Because I was, for some reason back then, they were like on 2 Friday nights in a row. Yeah. So I just assumed that they were the sick team. I think they just had a lot of hype then because they were the new team and they were winning.
Did they win that first year?
No, they won the second year.
Yeah.
So I watched the rest of that season. I was getting into the Melbourne Storm. I remember getting a Melbourne Storm jersey that year for Christmas. And you can imagine back then the big thick jerseys. I got that for Christmas in summer. Like I wore that every day in summer. I didn't care how much I was sweating. I was stoked.
Was it also back then? Because I remember having a lot of old jerseys and they were that thick material. They weren't the nice breathable material, but half the jerseys I owned were like 3/4 length.
Yeah, full rugby jerseys.
Yeah,
it was just after that. It was where they like still went to here.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were like that. Did you play rugby when you were younger or anything? Like that was
league, yeah, but
that jersey material, it's hard to explain.
Oh yeah, Mum and Dad still
slippery.
have all my jerseys. Oh,
it's not the rough feel; it's the slippery feel.
Yeah, right.
So that was the jersey.
It was like almost like synthetic. Or, yeah, okay.
But it was like huge,
but still really thick.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I know. Yeah.
So they got me that, and then the next year, when I was 9, I signed up for the under-9 Bosco Bulldogs in Engadine.
Yeah.
And then played 2 years there. Then we moved to Queensland.
What colour were their jerseys? Blue and white.
Yeah, Bulldogs, yeah.
Yeah.
So played 2 years for them. I remember being okay as a kid, but it was still like I couldn't really tackle very
Did
well.
you make any rep teams?
Not until I went to Queensland.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those first early years, just learning footy in Sydney. Then I remember, this is another thing with Melbourne Storm, is that the captain at the time, Robbie Kearns,
Yeah.
Dad knew his dad, Bobby Kearns.
Yeah, right.
I don't know how, I think they went to school together. And we're in the street one day, we're going into Video Easy. And
Well, they sponsored Canberra Raiders at the time.
Video Easy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Or was it? Was it Video Easy or Canberra Video?
Well, no, I remember the milk.
Yeah, I remember Canberra Milk. Yeah, Video Easy sponsored as well, I'm pretty sure.
So we were I was waiting in the car and Dad came up to the side of the car and said, "Do you recognise this man?" And I just go, "He looks like Robbie Kearns." I was like, "Yeah, this is his dad." I was like, "Oh, wow." And so I met him and then he asked us to come over because back then just locals being locals, like, "Yeah, come over, I'll give you something." And Dad rocked up to his house and he had a signed Melbourne Storm jersey from all the players. Oh, not jersey, a poster.
Yeah.
So he had this poster and he gave it to me. It was like brand new, just got it. And you could imagine being 9 years old, your favourite team getting a signed poster from all the players. I was like, holy shit. So I've still got it.
That's
like I'll never get rid of it.
Yeah.
But that's definitely what ignited
You need to
the
frame
thing.
it.
I should, hey. It's laminated.
Yeah.
It's cool enough.
Laminated,
yeah. And then so that is definitely what kicked it off. They won the grand final that year, which I remember just being like, holy shit, this team is the best team ever.
Best thing ever, yeah.
And then, moving to Queensland, kept playing footy for 2 years. And then after that, that's when the skating really took off and I stopped footy and just started skating.
Yeah. So you didn't play for a club anymore? Like once you took up skating?
No, it was under 12s. Or when I was 13, I remember I stopped playing footy.
Yeah.
And then got really into skating.
Yeah.
Like entered skate comps and that. So yeah, that was when that took serious. And then when I was going fast forward a lot of years, I think it was about 2015 that I started getting back into footy again.
Yeah.
So
actually playing?
Not playing, but following.
Yeah,
following. And then it was funny. I nearly gave up on the Storm.
Yeah, right.
Because I was living with our friend Dale at the time, who's a mad Broncos supporter.
Yeah.
He's like, "Who do you go for?" I was like, "Oh, I used to follow Melbourne." And then I remember Nick Bellringer.
Yeah.
He asked me one night, "Do you want to go to a game?" He's like, "We'll go to the Broncos Storm game." I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, sweet." At the time, I didn't really know the players anymore. I knew Cameron Smith and Billy Slater.
Yeah. That's it. You don't know anyone.
Yeah, I didn't know who all the other new players were. So we went to a game, and I remember I was like, "I'll probably go for the Broncos now because I don't really know anything." And I'm living in Brisbane. Anyway, biggest mistake ever. I don't know what I was thinking. So for the first half of the game, Melbourne just were flogging Broncos. And I was just like, what am I doing?
Yeah, I'm going to go to the Broncos.
I'm going back from Melbourne. They're killing it.
Yeah.
Anyway, they ended up winning by like 60 points or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, nah, I'm back on the train. Melbourne's the sickest team ever. So
and
from there
that's where you started the
hype for Melbourne Storm again. But fortunately with social media and things like that, I was able to, this is going into Shredlife again, I was hit them up like a few of the players if they would be happy to start wearing some Shredlife.
Yeah.
And they were sweet. So I had like Cameron Munster, just doing some name dropping, Dale Finucane, Jerome Hughes, I think someone else as well. But I just asked them like, hey, if you're keen, I'll send you down some stuff if you want to wear them.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, sweet. So I sent them down some stuff and they are wearing it like every week at training. I'm seeing like in these the Melbourne Storm videos, just Shredlife getting around in the background.
That was still early days Shredlife, realistically. Because they were like original kind of within our first couple of runs.
Yeah.
Like the design anyway. Yeah.
So yeah, it was just kind of like, it was funny how it all did like a big roundabout of just being a kid, but now getting back into it and then just somehow having a bit of a part with them now. Like, yeah, it's weird to explain, but that got me way more hyped and sold on the idea. And for people that know me, they know that I like to like over exaggerate whatever I do online. Yeah. So when the Melbourne Storm's playing, I'm like really hyped. I will go over the top, but that is purely a joke. I'm not that much of a like hardcore fan. Yeah. Like hardcore fans are the ones that are members that go every game and
spend X amount of dollars,
paint their hair purple and stuff like that. It's like, nah, like I'm a fan, but I like to get people hyped. I like to get people revved up on things because it'll start interaction online as well. If I say something about Melbourne, they'll probably say something about the Eels if they go for another team. and then it all just blows up.
But you have dressed up as a Melbourne cheerleader.
Yeah,
so
not by choice.
I think that was by choice, purely. You wanted to do it.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, for my Bucks party, it was a Melbourne Storm theme, thanks to Kurt. And they dressed me up as a cheerleader, Melbourne Storm cheerleader.
Yeah.
Luckily, I was shredded when that happened.
All right, so we've chatted about, you playing footy. You obviously, your link with the Storm from a young age. And then there's a bunch of skateboarding and stuff like that. What else is there to talk about? What else is there?
Also haven't touched on music.
Well, there you go. That's a big
that's
thing.
a huge other thing as well.
So how I essentially met you was I played in a band that were pretty crappy. Your band was this screamo band. I didn't even listen to, they called it screamo back then. I'm not sure what style of music.
Screamo.
Is that that's what it was?
It was like metal rock.
Yeah, but maybe that's when MySpace was around and the invention of those subgenres, which were screamo, and then because it was emo and I'm pretty unaware of what the genres were, but
I think it was just back then bands trying to discover what that new sound was, and it was you're a rock band, but you add in screaming and you add in a breakdown with some metal riffs.
Breakdowns, best things ever invented.
No matter what song you were, just for some reason back then it had a breakdown.
Chuck it in. Yeah. If the song didn't have a breakdown, it wasn't complete.
That wasn't complete. Yeah. It's like, what's this song missing? A breakdown. Let's just chuck it in.
Yeah. So, and that's when bands like Attack and that started the song with a breakdown. I was like, my mind was blown, And I come in way too late in the game to even listen to any of that stuff. So by the time I started listening to the heavier side of music, it was kind of already transitioning to the next whatever it was.
Yeah.
But so we met each other. I don't really recall the first time. Maybe it was.
Was it at Namble or was it at the Loud Festival?
I feel like maybe it was at Loud because I'd listen to you guys on MySpace, maybe.
Yeah.
And then I remember talking to the actual guy who was running Loud.
I remember. What was his name? I remember it. Was it Jason?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Because he was really in touch with everyone then. For
sure. I don't even know who the guy is or whatever, but I would talk to him probably on a weekly basis. I would say. I don't even know why, but it was about because he was trying to create with that festival. Did it only run for 1 year? And then it was meant to be.
It was as big as what it was just for that 1 year.
Yeah.
And then he went more into. It might have been like the Jubilee Hotel, things like that.
Yeah. Okay.
So indoor venues, but different stages set up.
Yeah.
But yeah. That big one that he did was what I remember. The first one that you and I met.
Yeah. So I remember going there and. What's the name of that band that Lockie ended up being in? Wish for Wings, I think. I think maybe they were
Torn Asunder was his first one.
Yeah, but
and they played too.
So Torn Asunder would have been there. Wish for Wings, maybe a Gold Coast band called Mia Carla. You guys. So yeah, I'm not sure. It'd be good to look at the lineup and see.
Yeah, who actually played.
Yeah,
old mate from Butterfingers played. He had another band.
What were they called?
What was it?
I think I found it once because I was like looking. I was like, "What? Where was it?"
Here we go. Loud Outdoor Music Festival.
Yeah, that's it. OzTix. Still got it.
You can still buy tickets. Oh, hang on.
Still buy tickets. Yeah, just because I didn't sell enough on.
Butterfingers. Body Jar.
Yeah, probably.
No. Oh, that's right.
It was pretty. It was like it was a big festival.
The Winnie Coopers,
yeah, Misdirection, Rollerball, Mia Carla, Marshall and the Fro, A Secret Death. That's Alan from Printware's band.
Oh, that's right.
Defon Leonard, Delayed Reaction, Inacio, LaBelle, Speed Racer, Torn Asunder, and many more.
We were many more. We weren't big.
The Music Pit.
Where was that? Or was that the thing?
No, I think that's what he called his business.
Yeah. There you go.
Damn it. So
yeah, I remember meeting you. Well, no, I remember sitting down. For starters, you had the long blonde hair and so did Brent.
Yeah, mine looked like Maggi noodles, but it wasn't. It was like dyed blonde. It wasn't good.
So, because it was funny. It was like talking to you now was the same way I was talking to you back then. It was. I was trying to think like, am I already mates with you?
Yeah.
So we'd talk for like we sat down after we played, talking shit, and then I remember after that, from there on, we kept seeing you at more and more local shows.
Yeah.
But
because I was a sweater. That's why I was like, oh, this band's so sick.
But at the same time, for those, I reckon, honestly, for probably the first 6 months, I couldn't remember if I was friends with you or Brent.
Or Brent, yeah.
I was like, which one's the one that talks to me more?
Yeah. It's true, you know. And I feel like this is how lame I was. I used to be that guy that would go to a show and I had this 10 megapixel Sony like camera, like pop-up camera. And I'd be the guy at the front taking the photos. And like, that's embarrassing, like to think about that now.
What? Well, you just be frothing?
Yeah, frothing. Because I didn't play music and then all of a sudden I was into the music.
Yeah.
And then for me to be able to perform a show like on an actual stage was like way out of my...
Oh, wow.
I never thought I'd be able to do it. Never. I was just like, oh yeah, I'm just a guy, you know, trying to play guitar.
When was your first gig?
I don't know. I was like too old. I was like, actually the first start that I got to ever play in front of people was at a uni bar where they'd have open mic night.
Yeah, that's how we started.
So there'd be like all these acoustic acts, and then here we'd be like full drum kits and like all these combo amps, and it'd take us like, you know, an hour to set up.
Yeah.
Everything was way too loud. You know, like the PA could only handle a vocal. And instead we had everything like running through it. Oh, man, it was just the worst thing ever.
We started, this is my high school band. We're called Karma. And there was 3 of us. We'd do Blink-182, Green Day covers.
Yeah.
And we'd go out to, it was in Noosa, out the back of, it was called the Apollonian Hotel.
Yeah.
And there would be a chalkboard. You get 15 minutes of fame. There'd be like a drum kit there, bass, rig.
Oh, you put your name down on the chalkboard and then you're the next one.
And then you're the next one that goes up. And I remember like it was the same situation. Like there'd just be all acoustic acts and singers and things like that. And then we just get on, turn it up. Yeah. And there's just old people everywhere. And you could just tell that they were not into it.
At least at ours, it was a uni bar. So it was everyone's about 18.
But yeah, I remember, I don't know why they kept letting us go back. That was the thing.
Same. I don't know either. It's like, why?
Yeah. But they gave us a chance.
Yeah, and I'm so glad. That's the thing in life. You look back and you think, why did you give me an opportunity? You know? And I'm so thankful that people did. Yeah.
Well, I guess they do it because they don't, when they get to that age, they probably see it's like, maybe this is the next thing that is going to blow up one day. Yeah. And they'll probably look back at this.
Yeah.
And for me, I think I can, because without those early days, like it probably wouldn't have led to what I got to do.
Yeah.
Like with the bands that I've fortunately got to join later on and play with, I'd be like...
To join or to...
Well, after Takes to Vegas, there was Behind Crimson Eyes.
Yeah, true.
And then like getting to go on like a massive tour with Alexis on Fire and playing Unify and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like that was towards the end of the music side of things, but to look back where it started with a guitar that looked like a bass on me, it's just... Like, yeah, that is cool to look back. And I hopefully will go out there again one day.
Yeah.
And just, if there's people there that are still there, because I still remember Gonzo was the sound guy.
Yeah, right.
And he used to run everything.
A lot of places have their staple sound guy who's been there since like the inception of the venue.
So I'll definitely have to make a trip out there one day, because he was an older dude, but he'd still be alive, surely.
Well, he wouldn't be doing much right now.
No. So yeah, I don't know. I'll go check that out, because I did from time to time go back to music at Noosa.
Yeah.
And they used to, like, that was our music shop.
Is that what it's called? Music at Noosa?
Yeah. So I used to go back there and like touch base with them and say like, oh, this is what I ended up getting up to.
Yeah.
Not that I intentionally went in there to just go show off. Like I went there to catch, because Tim,
I don't like it.
I got out of this shit. I was like, no, because I liked Tim. He played in a band that went there. So every time we used to go to Noosa, like play in Noosa, I'd go there and just get some strings or something before I played, and I'd catch up with Tim. And yeah, it'd just be cool to like say, oh, this is where we got to and whatnot. So yeah.
If you were still doing music and you were able to get any sponsor, what would it be?
sponsor, like an endorsement.
Yeah, an endorsement. Would it be for guitars or amps? You only have to choose one.
Yeah, okay. God, yeah, I guess guitars.
Guitars, yeah.
Because they're easier to sell.
No, it's not about selling them. It's like
when you're done with them.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was just thinking, strings, they will be the death of your bank account. Because when you're touring, maybe when I was younger, I didn't change strings as much. But now, especially with Denim being in the band, it's like every week I got to change my strings, you know. And I'm like,
yeah, no, you do have a great point.
I can't audibly hear the difference that much. I like it when you put new strings on it. It is great, but for him, he's like, oh, I need to change them like every week, and I'm like, man, I haven't played the guitar in like a month, so I'm like,
I will say, because when I was in Behind Crimson Eyes, the when we tour, we have a guitar tech, and every show you have
best thing ever.
You have like you rock up,
set up,
everything's set up, new strings, and I'm just like, what the hell? Like it's like playing a brand new guitar every single show.
So I used to always get my guitars set up in Brisbane by Matt Back, whatever his last name is, and he's just become so busy that I can't really get it in. And when we played Unified this year, we took Dimitri along. And he set my guitars up like they've never been set up before. I just thought he was going to change my strings, you know. And I was just like, oh, he's just a mate. He's coming along. And he's like, dude, he took like literally 10 hours, like spent 10 hours on our guitars between me and Denim, and I couldn't be more appreciative. I was like, dude, I thought you were just going to chuck on some strings. He's like, no, I'm here because I'm your guitar tech. And I was like, no, you're here because you're our mate, not because you're the guitar tech. But he went to town on him, dude. Like, and I've never felt him that good. Like,
that's so
I was just like, yes. So I need to somehow repay him one day for just that 10-hour stint that he put in. You know, like.
Oh, you get him on tour with you one day.
Yeah, for sure. And he's such a legend. But him, I've learnt so much because he was older than us as well. You know, he'd been playing in bands a lot longer. He's toured with every band ever.
And his, I guess, input, because he was playing quite regular big bands. He would know a lot of what to do.
He is so good to have around because he kicks your ass. You know, and he
knows if some shit, he'll tell you it's shit.
Exactly. Yeah.
You need that. You definitely need that.
And for him to say, you guys sounded great, or you guys did well, it actually it means something. Whereas if, you know, other people, your mates come along to a show, they're just half pissed and they're like, oh, great show, man. You're like, oh, thanks. I'm just going to go like.
At the same time, Dimitri.
Sulk in the corner.
I remember when on the one of the last tours that we did with you. And Ryan lost his voice and I had to step it up. And I remember when we got off stage, he still said our show was good. And I did not believe him. I was like, you're kidding me. That was shit.
In Melbourne?
Yeah.
Where did we play?
Was it some hotel?
Oh, I know where it was. Yeah, we just played there our last tour.
Oh, okay.
Because I remember being like, oh, I've played here with Takes to Vegas. And that show was sick. That was the very first show where you actually sang. And I got to play guitar.
Yeah.
Because I was playing bass, and then I was so psyched to play guitar. Even though I loved playing bass in Takes to Vegas, it was like, oh my God, I'm playing through all Liam's gear. Like, it was almost like because I did
you finally got to be in Wings
so
fan.
Much. Yeah,
you were
a
Wings fan.
Oh, yeah, it was like.
But here I am, like panicking at the front, just because I wasn't good. I was not trained for that anymore. I was a guitarist again at that point. I was not a front man.
So for people, the story is one of the last tours that you guys did, I was a part of. So I played bass and we went on tour. Ryan was obviously the vocalist, but he'd lost his voice like to the point where he actually could not sing.
Yeah, he couldn't speak.
Yeah.
For one, I remember that was...
And we were only like one show deep into the tour.
Oh, what? No, where did we play first? We played in Adelaide first. That was okay. And then we did Bang in Melbourne. I remember that. And then it was the All Ages show where he lost his voice and we smashed the window of the van. Oh God, there's more stories into that too. But that was when he lost his voice. And then I think we had one more show, and that was Sydney. No, we had the show that night in Melbourne. So we did 3 shows in Melbourne in the end. And I had to step it up for Melbourne. That was scary.
Yeah.
But then we got to Sydney and we got to prepare.
Yeah.
Because we spent the day in a rehearsal studio.
Yeah.
What a difference that made.
Dude, how good that's what the Brave does now. If we fly into somewhere, we'll actually do like a full production day before we play.
Yeah.
And I never thought it would be such a cool thing to do, like to practice before you play.
Yeah. But it's very common. Like that's what awesome. Behind Crimson Eyes did.
Yeah.
On every big thing that we did.
You just feel prepared. And it's not that you don't know the songs or you're trying to, not be rusty. It's just it mentally prepares you. Yeah. So for a lot of shows, actually, I don't really like interacting with people before the show, not even Cara, no one. It's like I need to I'm here to do my job, and I enjoy being on that stage so damn much that it's like I want to be the best I can be. So for me, I have to mentally prepare for the whole day.
Yeah.
So if you see me before a show or a day before the show and I look like I'm just keeping to myself, I am.
Yeah.
Because I'm like just
zoning in.
Yeah. I love that feeling.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But so on the shows, you got up, you were the singer, and
sorta. I did a bit of singing, but mostly screaming.
Yeah.
But fortunately, I remember when we were rehearsing, it was almost like, because Aaron was singing as well. So he was taking care of as many clean bits as possible.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, sweet, if you can do more cleans, I can just scream like
as much as I can. Yeah.
And then Ryan was showing hints at this stage that he was able to sing.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you can do these lower harmonies. You might be able to, we might be able to start something different. And then by the time he rested the few hours before the show, we got up and I remember looking back at the footage. I've never posted it, but I probably should.
There's footage?
Yeah, of that gig. But the thing was...
the Sydney or the Melbourne one?
In the Sydney one. So the footage sounds pretty good, but where we set the camera up, a dude cuts off half the screen because he's standing in front of the camera. So I was like,
Can't post that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like a...
Or just mirror it if you can,
So it's looking back at the footage, because Ryan's voice started showing signs of hope that it was coming back, and then when we played the show, Ryan was singing like he always was.
Yeah.
So we had Ryan on bass singing like an angel.
Pretty good, yeah.
Aaron's singing really well, doing the harmonies.
Yeah.
You're frothing up because you're playing guitar.
Yeah.
Alex is just stoked anyway, he's playing drums. And then I'm just like, I was getting into the habit of being a front man again. So it was like a completely new band, but it sounded good.
Funny.
And then I couldn't really call it Take Us to Vegas, but I'm just like, hey everyone, how you going? We're a band.
Yeah. And it was just...
And I remember everyone coming up to us, I'm like, that was actually sick. I was like, sweet. But yeah, getting out of the shit.
So is Take Us to Vegas going to get back together? Is there going to be more shows?
I hope so. We talk, the thing about Take Us to Vegas is that there's a band where you get members in and you rotate once they leave the band, you don't speak to them anymore.
Yeah.
Take Us to Vegas has always kind of been a mates first thing.
Yeah.
So we've always supported each other before the band, during the band, and after the band. So everyone who's left the band after, we've always been really backing of each other in what we do.
Whatever they're trying to do.
If they're playing another band, we support the shit out of it. If they're two of the guys that open up gyms, we go to them gyms.
Yeah.
We do anything we can to still support our network.
Yeah,
exactly, because we're mates. So I think with what's going on at the moment, we've got a group chat with the latest Take Us to Vegas, which involved Joe.
Incarnation, yeah.
And we've just been chatting, being like, oh, can we do something? Let's try something. So we're talking quite regularly. This year would have been our 10-year anniversary from starting.
Since the first show.
And that was always kind of the plan, to do something.
Yeah.
Like a show.
Surely,
just to play a catalogue of music.
Yeah, and if you're able to play shows again, by the end of the year, it would be cool.
So we've definitely, we won't get back together the way we were.
Yeah.
But the good thing about being mates and all that is that one day we will eventually do something.
Yeah. Would you release new music,
or
would it just be play shows?
I can promise that at one stage something will come out
new
with the members of Take Us to Vegas that is music.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's Take Us to Vegas or not, I don't know, but it'll be members of Take Us to Vegas doing something again.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, and so I think, I don't even know how you guys stopped playing, but for me, for probably everyone, it was like a bit of a shock. Realistically, it was just like you just stopped.
Yeah.
It's not really.
There's a story behind that, which I will get into, I think, with my own sort of podcast type of thing. And that was to do with a contract. It wasn't like a contract that you sign this, you're doomed.
Yeah.
It was just something where everyone was on the fence of. We weren't sure if we were ready to make that move.
Yeah. Different stages in your life.
Different stages of our life. We're all looking at different opportunities. It was honestly like the most stressful time for us because we're at that age where you either go one way or the other.
Yeah.
I think because of the way we stayed, the way we went with, we've all stayed mates.
Yeah.
Who knows?
If it was a different,
Yeah. But the thing is, like, we probably wouldn't have even been living in Australia. We would have been living in America. Yeah. Things would have went different. Fortunately, most of us have been able to still go to America and experience it. But yeah, as far as, I think it was important mentally that we did the thing that we did, that we can all still be mates and support of each other. I think the reason why we did it has kept us mates.
Yeah.
And so, hopefully if we get to play music again, it's because of that. The same way the band started was because we just wanted to do it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a business thing.
When you guys stopped, I feel like the sound that you had was very Rise Records kind of sound, which if there was an opportunity or you guys actually went overseas, I feel like the market there would have been huge for you guys.
Yeah.
But again, there's 5 guys in the group. Everyone has different stages in their life. Like there's so much to being a band that I actually really appreciate that bands can actually do a thing, and whether it be financially or even to get there as a group. It's like it's crazy that people are able to make music, you know, and for long periods of time.
Yeah. So I think we'll just see how the future goes. I think now since the pandemic started, it was like almost instant that we all started chatting together on our group chat. So hopefully something good comes out of it.
Yeah.
But it has to come naturally. Like,
there's no reason to doing something if you're all not really vibing it, or if it's just not even the same level of quality. Like, I know that you guys, as that group, created great music, so I can't see why it can't happen again.
No.
You know, especially with, you know, Dean, he still plays music and he still does his own kind of thing. So if he's involved, is he involved?
Yeah. He's involved.
So I imagine like, you guys, it'll just be like a seamless transition again. Like,
well, I think honestly, with the backings of social media and how we've all kept networking like in people's faces the whole time.
Yeah.
It'll be honestly like we never left.
Exactly. Yeah.
Once we say that we're doing something, it'll be a big show.
Yeah.
And we won't have to do any groundwork again. We'll just take off from where we were.
Yeah, exactly.
And that'll purely be it. And so we'll just see how that happens.
It would be cool because even bands from 10 years ago, I'd be psyched to see a band, you know, that I used to listen to. There's a couple of bands that I used to froth, but they'll never make a comeback or anything because they haven't stayed friends over that period of time.
Well, I think that's the similarity between when I got into Behind Crimson Eyes. This is to do with like networking, things like that. When I got asked for that, which is another story altogether, was because of how I always kept up to date with social media and being in people's faces. Since Takes to Vegas ended, I've never been uploading videos of me playing guitar and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just been maybe a throwback here and there.
Yeah.
But because I was always online, like as much as was necessary, it helped when Behind Crimson Eyes were looking for a guitarist. They're just like, oh, Liam's not in the band anymore. Yeah. Like, I was probably their first thought about it.
Did you know those guys previously?
Yeah, from touring and like we used to stay at the guitarist's house when we went to Melbourne. So he was like our go-to babysitter.
Yeah.
And it was really natural. And that comes back to that friend thing of they don't want a guitarist. They'd way prefer just to have a mate.
Yeah.
And that was the similarity between Takes to Vegas and Behind Crimson Eyes, is that they're all mates.
Yeah.
And even though their band finished quite a while ago now,
it's
like when they get together, it's like they were together yesterday.
Yeah.
So and I think that's what I look for in a band.
Yeah.
Is it not just members smack together?
For sure. But it is also about the ability, you know. So at least you have mates that have the ability to be at a certain level.
All the stars have got to align.
Yeah, because there's some guys that are your mates, so you're like, you'll never be in my band. You're like, because you're just not good enough at whatever role.
Like the classic is someone playing an instrument like, oh, I'll be in your band. Like, okay, it's a good joke. I've heard it 1,000 times.
Yeah, so you were probably lucky enough that in each version of whatever band you've played in, that they've all been mates, but also had the ability to play at a certain level.
Exactly. And once again, they're that supportive network of each other. Like in Behind Crimson Eyes, they all support their outside businesses.
Yeah.
So they like, ever since I've joined the band, like they're all repping Shredlife and that.
Yeah.
So they really support me there. But Garth owns a coffee shop. Everyone who passes through Newcastle always goes to his coffee shop.
Yeah, okay.
So things like that. And then like we always share each other's videos. Like Dan has a massive drum online academy basically.
Yeah.
That we, without even like watching it, you just instantly share it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's just the support that you have for each other.
Yeah. Yeah, that's sick.
So yeah, I really admired that.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess what I want to do is probably, this won't be the only conversation we'll have, you know. You're going to be starting up your own podcasting, so you know I'm sure we'll chat on there. But also here there'll be, you know, I'll get you in a couple more times, and we can talk about 1,000 different stories.
Oh, we can talk about America. That is just like 3 hours and that.
Yeah, so at least like we've started something here. It's been great to chat to you. And where can people find you on the internet? What's the best handles?
If you look up Bunnings rock guitar cover, you'll find me there, and then that'll link you through to everything else, which is shredlifeclothingco.com, or just Liam Hennessy. There's a couple of them.
There's a couple of yous. What is it, Liam _Hennessy or Liam Hennessy __?
What, my personal one?
Yeah,
don't find it. Just find shredlifeclothingco.com.
Yeah, that's it. And then from there
you'll find everything
whatever
else.
You want.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for you know, coming in, having a chat.
My leg's going to sleep.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'll be sitting here for another few minutes.
I'll get you a couple more coffees.
Oh, God. Yeah, it's pins and needles.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for being a part of this. And,
Cheers. I'll chat to you soon.
Easy.
All right, let's go out to the lounge
Can't
room.
shake hands.
No, we can't shake hands. Oh, my leg.
It's gone. It's dead.